Hello everyone, it's your Sally Coach. In this video, we're going to be going over the Fractionated Morse cipher. And before we get started, this is going to be a second video on the Fractionated Morse cipher. I have already done one in the past, but because of the amount of requests that I've gotten to do another one, this is going to be the second video. So with that said, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we see is that it says it's a Fractionated Morse cipher, but it also says that the quote has will, y, and then it also says that it goes to EQR USBFL. So that means that will y is going to be given for this amount of letters right here. So now that we know that, we want to be looking at a few rules of the fractionated Morse before we completely get started on the cipher. Rule number one is that we're going to have two different types of fractionated Morse and Morse. So we have fractionated Morse first, which is going to be the cipher type of Morse code. And that's going to be parts of like dots, dashes, and X's. And it's only going to be 3 symbols per one letter. So it's going to be like these 3 might go straight to L. That's what someone would say, right? And then we have Morse code, which will have only dots and dashes. And we'll have anything from like 1 dot to like 4 dots, something like that, going to a singular letter. So this means that in fractionated Morse, you will only be having a certain of 3 different symbols going to 1 letter. And in Morse code, you're going to be having anywhere from like 1 little dot to 4 straight symbols going to 1 letter. That's how it's going to look like. And to show this right here, we can see the Morse code on the left that I have open. Like A, that's dot dash, E is dot, and you can see something like J having 4 different symbols. Alright, so now after that, let's go to the second rule. So in the fractionated Morse, we're going to be having those X's, right? So 1X goes to the end of a letter, and then 2 X's goes to end of word. This is important to know because this lets us take our like will you right here, well, will y, it could be will you, and we can take that to figure out which letters will be connected to the fractionated Morse and how are we going to use that to figure out the rest of our table down here. So talking about the table, let's go to rule number 3. So this table is going to work in a way of a K1 alphabet, similar to it at least, where it's going to start with our keyword, and then the alphabets will continue on just like that. So let's say we have keyword right here as our keyword, and then it will go on as A, B, C, D, and E are both inside here. So we're going to skip straight to F. That's how it's going to be looking like. And the last one, this fractionated Morse cipher will not be that clean. It's going to be very messy and it's going to take a very long time. So it's important that you're as concise and as straightforward as you can be whenever you're writing down these symbols. So now let's start on the cipher. First, we see that it says W goes to dot dash dash. So we know that we're going to have to put W right here. And then since that is the end of our first letter, right, we're going to be putting an X. So this now tells us E goes straight to dot dash dash. That means E is going to fall right here. Next, let's look at I. I is going to be, let's look, dot dot. So Q is now going to be X dot dot, WI. So let's now go to down here. X dot dot goes to Q. So let's look for the X dot dot. This is Q. Now let's go again for L. If I look in this table, L is going to be dot dash dot dot. But since this is the end of letter, once again, we put an X. And then we have dot dash. Oh, let me make that a little bit easier. So I'm going to erase this. X dot dash dot dot. And that's going to be the end of the letter once again. And then once again we have dot dash dot dot. So this is going to be L. Now we know that this like certain text goes to WILLY. So will is going to be the end of the word, meaning that this is now going to be XX. And we need to put a slash whenever we have this double X. That lets us know, and that lets the test creators and graders know that this is going to be the end of the word. So now let's just make sure that we fill in all of our symbols. So we have .xx going to be B. Let's go and put that in. .xx is B right here. We have dot dash dot for S, dot dash dot for S. We have U going to dot dot X, dot dot X right here is U. And we have R going to X dot dash. So if we look for X dot dash, R right here. All right, so now let's make sure we have the slash and continue on with putting this Y next. Y in Morse code is going to be dash dot dash dash X. This is Y. So now that we have that, right, we are going to put F to dash dot dash. Dash dot dash is F right here. So now, since we can't really do anything else, we can either, one, fill in all of the letters that we have, like saying that E is dot dash dash, so wherever else we have E, such as right here, we are going to be putting in dot dash dash. Or we can go and look at our table to figure out if we can figure out more letters in their symbols. So right here, right, we have B to F, meaning that in the middle of this, right, we are skipping C, D, E, and then we are going to F. So this means that C, D, or E, like two of these, are going to be in our keyword. So if we already look, we can see that we can see that E is in our keyword right here. So we can now understand that in that space between B and F, we know that it has to be C or D. So we can keep that in mind if we ever see something, C or D, that could fit into this dash dot dot category, that it might be over there. Another thing we can do is see this end right here, QR, STUV, oh, that's supposed to be a V, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So we can see that we have around 2 letters remaining that cannot fit, but if we do look back into our keyword, we see that U and S stand right here. So we already have U and S in our keyword, meaning that we can cross out U, we can cross out S, and keep on going. So this means we have T, V, W, X, Y, and Z. This gives us many more letters, and this gives us just a much easier way to solve the rest of the cipher. So for example, this can also tell us where our end of words are through Y and Z. So let's look where we have Y, like right here, right? We can see that Y is XX dot. So now we already know that over here and like over here, we have an end of word. So now we can also take that and we can go and look at our B value, right? B is, let's see what B is, after I erase this really quick. So B is dot XX, end of that, dot XX, end. And now that tells us dot dot is right after that, which is going to be I. So right here. So I was just trying to say that using YZ and this symbol right here, we can find where the end of the words are, letting us figure out the cipher much more quickly. So now that I've found many more letters and many more different areas, such as like right here with the contraction, let's now fill in all of the areas where I can just fill in some of my symbols. So Y right here, we can go back and put in XX dot and so on. So now I'm going to end some of my recording and fill in all of my certain letters, and then I'm going to go back and record the rest. Alright, so now that I filled out all of my letters to my fractionated Morse decoding, let's now go back and fill in all of our Morse code letters and our end of words. So right here, we have an end of word. Let's now go and keep looking. Right here, we have an end of word. Right here, we have dot dash, which is A. Next, we have end of word right here. Right here, we have dot dash dot dot, which is L. And then right here, we have dot dot, which should be I. Dot dot is I. And then if we keep on going, we have an end of word right here. We also have an end of word right here. End of word. This is an I and an end of word, so it's probably a contraction right here. We have dot dash dash. That goes to, what's dot dash dash? W. We have dot dash, which is A. And then we have end of word over here, end of word. Then we have another end of word right here. End of word, dot dot is I. And then what else? Dot dash dot dot, which is L. And then we have end of word dash dot dot, which is going to be D. And then I right here for dot dot. Alright, so now that we have a whole bunch of different letters and stuff, how about now we go back to the very start, and this looks like it can be will you. So let's see if that works. Let's find the Morse for O first. O is going to be triple dash, so we have dash, 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 X. And then we have U. U is dot, dot, dash, dot, dot, dash. This works perfectly. So I can put an O right here and U right here. This gives us dot, dot, dash for O. Just double making sure. Dot, dot, dash for O. Dot, dot, dash is O. And then we have J is going to be dash, dash, X. Dash, dash, X for J. And then lastly, we have L, which is dash, X, dash. L is dash, X, dash. And now I feel like this is going to be a lot easier as we have F, G, H, I. So we just got these 3 new letters. And then, well, this as well we can fill out. We also have L we can fill out. We have O we still need to fill out. And let's keep looking. Now we have L, M, N, O, P. That needs to go in the middle. We already have O at the front, so we can kick out O and figure more out after. Right in between J and L, we have K, J, K, L. So we also need to fill in K now. What else can we figure out? I believe this is it. So now we can just keep on filling in letters. Let's find O. O is going to be dot, dot, dash. We have O right here. Dot, dot, dash. Where else do we have an O? That should be it. We can now look at G. Dash, dot, X. Dash, dot, X. Right here. Where else do we have a G? Dash, dot, X. So this gives us dash, dot, which is going to be C. Dash, dot, and right here, dash, dot, dash is going to be K. All right. Let me make this a little easier to read. We're still on G, which is dash, dot, X. Dash, dot, X. This is end of word right here. Keep looking. G can be found nowhere else. H, dash, dash, dot. There is one right here. Dash, dash, dot. And that should be all of that. Now we have I dash dash dash. There is no i's in this. J is dash dash x, which we do have a lot of, dash dash x, dash dash x. Where else it can be found? J is dash dash x. All right, that should be it. K is dash x dot, and triple dash is O. And then right here, we have dot dash dot, which goes to dot dash dot. Which one does that go to? R. And now we have L remaining. We can plug in that. L is going to be dash x dash, dash x dash. This is O, and this is also O. Dash x dash, dash x dash, dot dash should be A. And right here, dash x dash. And dash dot dot gives us, what does it give us? Dash dot dot D. All right, so now that we have even more filled in, let's now go back and see this. So it's important to see the end or start of certain lines because right here we have a slash and we have another slash right here. So this means at the very top of this one right here, this is going to be another letter because it ends right here, and then it also just shows us that it ends because of this double X right here. So now we can go back and see that dash dot dash goes to be K. So will you, let's see what this can be. C, right? It looks like this could be look. That's the only one that makes a lot of sense. So let's make sure that's right by figuring out what is the code for L. And the code for L is dot, which is shown right here, dash dot dot. So this means C would be dash dot dot and filled in right here, which makes sense. So now that tells us that C is going to be dash dot dot. So now let's go back and fill in C as dash dot dot to be L and all the other places that C shows up. So right here is another place, dash dot dot, dash dot dot right here, dash dot dot. And since the line ends right here, we know that dash dot dot is going to be the end, which is Morse for D. Where else is C shown? I believe that is all. So now we can try figuring out if there's any more words that we can tell. So will you look back? That's what makes sense over here. So dash dot dot dot, M is going to be dot dot dot, mouse. M is dot dot dot. I believe that is it. Next, we can see right here in the middle of our two slashes, we have a lot of letters we can figure out. We have triple dash, which is O, and then we have dash dot, which is Morse code for N. Will you look back on life? Probably. So if we look at the Morse code for F, it's going to be dash dash dot dash, dash dash dot dot dash dot. So life right here. We have that, and then we have X as the end of letter, and then E, which is a single dot. So we have, will you look back on life? That means A is going to be dot X dot. Dot X dot is A. We can also cross out m right here, and this means n or p is going to have to be right here. Next, let's fill in all of our a's to be dot x dot, dot x dot. Triple dot is going to be what? Triple dot is s. And then we have 4 dots, I believe. Yeah, that's 4 dots, which is h. And then if I plug in a right here once again as dot x dot, we have s. And then we have dot dash, which is a. And then we have dash dot dash dash. Dash dot dash dash is going to be y. Will you look back on life? This is probably going to be and. So if I look at the Morse for n is going to be dash dot, end of letter, and then d, which is going to be dash dot dot. So now we have d is going to be dot x dash. Dot x dash is d. And now we can put mouse pad, and then we have n right here. So will you look back on life and say I wash? This may or may not be wrong. We may have to look back at that. We have triple dot right here, and then we can see that a is dot x dot, dot x dot, and now we have dot dash, which is a. I wash, I had, or I. N is going to be dash xx, dash xx slash dash dash is Morse code for m. And then we have dash dash dot is g. We have L right there. P is going to be dot x dash, and then we have dot dash is a, and then we have dash dot dot as d. I did. So will you look back on life and say I wash, I had, or I wish? This is actually going to be wish, I believe. Is this wish? Yes, it is wish. I read this wrong. This is dot dot, meaning I wish, I had, or I'm glad I did. So right here, when I messed it up and I saw it was wash, that's something to keep in mind. When I said at the very start of the video, it's important to be concise and straightforward with your symbols, because right there I saw the second dot as a dash, giving me a whole nother letter. That's why it's very important to make sure that you have all of your handwriting very clear and easy to read. So that's going to be the end of the Fractionated Morse video, second part. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.